Ugh, I'm tired right now, but I'm gonna do this. Welcome to my art tutorial! Part 1 out of I have no idea. So I got some requests. The first one being a coloring tutorial asked by Ree. And then came Bunny and asked me to draw Antasma. So I will combine those two. It will be a really long video because I am slow as heck. But that's what we're gonna do today. So let's go. And here we have good old paint tool SAI. The best thing ever, pretty much. So first we're gonna take and open a canvas. That's as big as we want it. Since Antasma is very tall, we're gonna make it a very... There we go. No, that's not tall enough. Still not tall enough. Might make this to 3000 and it'll be very big. Very big. Or we're gonna make this thinner. I'll make this thinner. That's more like it. Now we're gonna start sketching. I always do it pretty quickly, but since this is a tutorial, I guess I'll have to slow down, which is gonna be difficult because I like going fast. So, we're just gonna make basic shapes, pretty much. That's the best way to get anywhere. So, his head is of course just a circle, very quickly. If you have difficult drawing circles, just open a canvas and start drawing them to get used to it. So what we're gonna do next is a tube for the neck, even though he's got a very thick and not so visible neck. And then we're gonna do the shoulders, which is pretty much just a straight line. It's got pretty wide shoulders. And then we're gonna do the body. What I start with is the back. And then we're gonna have like a cut off triangle like this. I usually don't put a circle here, but putting a circle here makes it a bit simpler to then go to the tail. All we do is just draw a long tube. My Antasma is a tall Antasma. And since the tail is just a tube, you don't need any folds or anything, it's gonna be like that. Now we've got a few curves, so we're gonna add this on here. So the body is curved like this. And this is the middle of the chest. And then we're gonna remove this circle because then it's much easier. Then we're gonna give this triangle a bit smoother shapes. I add a little bulge here because, you know, he's not all bone. Everyone's got a bit of flesh. Yes, so his shoulders aren't that straight. They're a little bit like this. I usually start with the face when I do stuff, but this time I didn't because tutorials. I'm gonna put 2 circles here for where his arms go. I'm actually going to rotate him a bit like this. And I pressed Ctrl T to do this. Because his arm, there's gonna be more tubes. He's got a pretty... his wrists are pretty thick. So there's 2 parts like this, and here goes his elbow. And we're gonna do his claws, and I can't do this too quickly because I usually just draw on like this, but I can't do that right now. Now we're gonna put his other arm. It's good to split it up in 2 different shapes. Might have to do this a bit thicker. Put a 7 there. And then his elbow here is pretty pointy. And again, we're gonna have some fat here because, you know, he likes the sweets. because everybody's not only bone. So there, now we got a good start. I've now saved the canvas too to Art Tatum. It doesn't really matter what titles. If you've seen my titles, like they're not very good. But it's important to save like all the time. Control S all the time. Important. Control plus S. What a beautiful start. Yeah. So we're gonna do the hand now to get that out of the way. And like everything else, you just make basic shapes and you split it up. And since his hand is, this is outside of his hand, so I'm still gonna do it like it's on the front, like this on the front. Many people have problems with hands, but I love hands. You get it after a lot of practice. And the best practice is looking at your own hand. So this one here, this is where the thumb is. So the thumb is connected here. And it's on another spot than the other fingers. The other fingers are here. He's only got three fingers. And they're pretty chubby. Just like this. Just like triangles. And I never put much detail into hands. I just make little chubby hands. We're gonna erase this. This one doesn't have very special. I'm gonna put some more shape into this. And yeah, his hands are really big. This one on the other hand, I was thinking he's gonna hold a lollipop. So we're just gonna draw the lollipop here first. And it's gonna be pretty small because he is big. Antasma's really big. And then we're gonna draw the hand, holding it. I'm not an expert at this, but I think we need to move it a little bit. And then again, we're gonna draw the circle with the thumb here. I think that's how his thumb... Wait, I need to check with my own hand. I think the thumb is gonna go... You see, I suck at this. I'm no genius. I am very bad at this. I think that's how it goes. I don't know. Control S again? But okay. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Now let's get over to his face. I think that's the most fun part. His body is pretty muscular and that shit, but his face is like some squishy. So I always start with his eyes. And therefore, like this. This line, I have learned to use this line, but I never use it pretty much. It only indicates which direction the character looks. Otherwise, I don't really use it. And then from this, we're gonna make a half circle. That's a bit, and then we just draw these lines in the middle. Nice. And then after that, I go over to his cheeks because he's got pretty puffy ones, and they're just puffy. Think about like 2 circles like this. That's how you do it. And then we're gonna have his chin. You see, his neck is pretty much covered up because it's non-existent. Here we go. I think that's a bit too round. Alright, and then his eyes. We're just gonna leave them like 2 big circles, because you can always like fix it later. Like you're gonna have sinister like. Ugh, I hate this. Now we're gonna do with this cone head, just a cone, and then I'm so used to drawing this quickly that I can't do this slowly. More cones. He's like all the cone, and Cosmo's just one big cone. He's not gonna be angry. Antasma is a happy person. So now we have these circles, but we only put a line below here. I usually put little lines here, like wrinkles, because you're just... No human is just smooth. When they move, there's wrinkles everywhere. Now, we're gonna find clothes for him. So this is how I do it. I just go here to Google, and Google hoodie, because I thought he was gonna have a hoodie here. As usual, girls' clothes are prettier than boys' clothes. So I always go for girls, even though I do boys. We're just gonna scroll down here. That is really cute. And oh, I need to give this to Dimension. What do we have here? This is a pretty nice design. I like that. With like the different and the circular. I think I'm gonna go with this. So I just copy and boop. I usually put these at my other screen because I have two monitors. You can't see this second monitor, so we're just gonna copy this here because I'm not very creative. I copy like everything. We of course need to change the design for all of this because Antasma has a different shape. And clothes be clothes. They don't stick to the body like glue. They have volume. That is very important, and that is something people tend to forget. That clothes don't sit really tight to the body. This is a pretty... Please. This is a pretty tight fitting thing, but it still got these folds. And yeah, I know folds are really annoying. But if you just watch how they fold here, they fold. It's the best looking at real life people. They fold by here, where the shoulder goes, and then it goes just like a curve down here. And it's a bit... Yeah, it's a nice explanation to it. But yeah, look at the real world to get grasp of things. That's how you get somewhere. These things at the wrists, they are much tighter than the rest. But Antasma's got very thick wrists again. These hands are all different shapes. What the heck? This is me every time I draw, by the way. I am so bad. Okay, so we're gonna get these tight areas on here. And then we're gonna do the color. It's pretty round like this. So it goes like that. And then it goes like this. And now I have no idea how this works with his hair, but let's say that his hair is like so... it's magic. And then there is an intersection of here, it's like very fluffy. So let's do that. And there's this straps, lines. And then for the rest, we're just gonna do all these squiggly lines. I think the best way to get things done is do them quickly, because it looks more natural when you just YOLO. And you see at this bulge, there's gonna be folds, because the fabric has to go in here, and therefore it makes lines. Just simply lines. And down here, it's also a change of fabric, like here, so there's gonna be folds. And since Antasma doesn't have legs, this part is gonna change a lot. And then there's a little thing here. I'm gonna put like this. Boop. Yeah, there's a very pretty hoodie. I'm gonna draw his pupils. And then the next part is the mouth. I usually draw like V mouths because they are the cutest. I pretty much got him from Steven Universe because it's just so cute. I think I'm going to rotate this arm, and you just select on the outside and click Control T to rotate it a bit and make it look more natural, because who just holds a lollipop and stares at it? I might have to redraw this. And I'm gonna change his view up here. And I'm gonna change this again. I have no idea what I'm going for here. Yeah, he makes no sense. No blush. I like that. This is so messy, but makes sense if his tongue sticks out like this. That doesn't look like. Okay, so his tongue is pretty like pointy, like Caclera, because that's cute. There we go. I think that's a sketch, but we're gonna fix it a bit later when we line art. I much rather make this lineless, but that's a whole other story. So I'm just gonna go line art. So now I'm gonna do line art. So I'll take black and put stabilizer on pretty high. Sometimes I don't use stabilizer because it makes much natural. It looks more natural. And I edit quite a lot when it comes to line art to make it look better. And I just start wherever I please doing stuff. I just follow these lines. Also, I might skip this part because it takes quite a while to get it done. But you probably get that I just follow this. And you might wonder why my hand is so stable and stuff, and I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, in the beginning I was shit, of course. It takes... You need to do it a lot. Like I said in the why I don't make art tutorials video. That is my secret. I'm not very good at explaining how I do things. But I'm gonna get this done so we can move over to the coloring, because that is going to take years, and I am so bad at explaining that it's probably not gonna help at all, but I'm going to try. I'm gonna change the little finger here to like go behind the middle one because it looks more natural. And you might want to use stabilizer for his tail. It just makes a better line like this. I'm gonna color this in black already because I'm lazy. The lines don't get as shaky if you do it quickly. That's why I always do everything so fast. If you just study the way I draw the lines, you can kind of get how I do it, because I am shit at explaining. Here you can see it looks pretty odd, so I'm gonna remove the lines here. Needs a bit more muscle. Yeah, this is skinny Antasma, and it's not very detailed. I tend to get very stressed when I have to show stuff, so things are not gonna look as pretty as I usually do. You could color this in black, but I don't like doing that most of the time because then you can't see the wrinkles in the face, and I like face wrinkles, obviously. And here his eyes are gonna be more narrow because I made the line so thick here. And dots to eyebrows. Now we can actually remove the sketch in the back by clicking this little eye. And then the last part is the little lollipop. Very little. Yeah, very ugly. But don't be afraid of making mistakes. Make all the mistakes. It's the best way to learn something. You might see that I click this little button up here that flips the canvas, making him look like he's dancing. That if you change it like this, you can see the drawing mirrored. My tablet stopped working. Great! Thank you! But yeah, that's the thing. You can make stuff look better by inverting it. If the drawing looks good, inverted and not inverted, it will for sure look like a great drawing.